Hey guys, good morning. Hopefully you're ready to jump into the scripture today. We are in Psalms chapter 4. This is a great psalm, especially if you look around at the world and you struggle with it. You look around and you see the evil that goes on in the world. You see the struggles that just men have against each other, and you just kind of wonder, how much longer, Lord, is this going to go on? Well, David had the same sort of experiences, and as he wrote this psalm, it's such a blessing because it gives us a handful of keys to how we live in a world that is so broken, that is so set on power, on money, on seeing people they're basically themselves, right? So focused on themselves. And so here we are. I'll start in verse 1. Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. You have relieved me in my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long, O you sons of men, will you turn my glory to shame? How long will you love worthlessness and seek falsehood? But know that the Lord has set apart for himself him who is godly. The Lord will hear when I call to him. Be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. There are many who say, who will show us any good? Lord, lift up the light of your countenance upon us. You have put gladness in my heart more than the season that the grain and wine have increased. I will both lie down in peace and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. All right, so clearly David has come to the Lord. He's praying. You can see the intensity, and it's just a blessing for us. Like we can just like throw ourselves down, like, hear us, Lord. I'm struggling. I see things that I don't want to see. I have this, I'm looking around at the world and it just seems like things are a disaster. And most of the time, what happens is when we start seeing those things, we start to grind on a political campaign, or we start to grind in certain terms of little ways that we might be able to make effect and change. And yeah, we need to be involved in things. But at the end of the day, though, there has to be something that a follower of Jesus Christ does differently. And that's first to simply go to the Lord. And he's complaining. He's complaining to God. He's saying, look around. Look, God, you know that this entire place is filled with people who only seek their own. They're against everyone but themselves. They only seek themselves, and they're going to continue to go against David as the ruler. And so he's struggling with all of the things going on in the world in which he lived in, without question. And he cries out to the Lord, and he says this statement. It's so important for us. I really want to focus our morning on this. He says, be angry and do not sin. What an incredible thought that we have the ability and the capacity to be angry and not cross a line into sin. Well, what kind of anger might that be? Well, that would be anger that would be righteous, just as we would hear in the scripture on a regular basis, right? Anger was kindled in the heart of the Lord. That God Himself had anger. Jesus, when He walked in the temple and He saw that they were turning it into a den of thieves, right? Just buying and selling and money changing and all that stuff. He goes in there, he flips over the tables, and he's just really angry. But apparently there's a capacity to be angry and not sin. Well, what is that anger? That's going to be righteous anger. That's going to be the same things that would make God angry, should make us angry. But then how do we handle it? How should we deal with that righteous anger when we look around our world today and we just see things that just infuriate us in terms of how people are going to act, the sin that's running rampant, all that sort of stuff? He says a few things, right? First thing he says, meditate within your heart, on your bed, and be still. When do we typically think about this? The only times, we'll be laying in our bed thinking over and over and over stuff. He said, listen, just be still, meditate, spend time focused on the Lord, allowing that to be the thing that predominantly captivates your mind, your will, and emotions. That's where we have to start. Then he says, offer sacrifices of righteousness. Now, what do we must do, right? If it's meditate, now we must do something. We must do something about this, and that's going to be making sure that the things we do are right. Let's make sure that we demonstrate what it looks like to truly follow Jesus Christ and have a right way of living. We've got to be the ones who are willing to forgive first. We've got to be the ones who are also willing to share truth, but it has to be in love, right? So we offer these sacrifices of righteousness. We ourselves must abstain from the same sin which we might be angry at, right? Pull the plank out of your own eye before you grab the speck out of someone else's, right? All those sorts of things. And finally says, listen, put your trust in the Lord. Stop worrying about trying to figure out how in the world is the world going to figure itself out. It's not. It's just, it won't happen. But we know that if we place our trust in the Lord, then we can have that anger, which might stimulate emotion, which might stimulate bad actions and sin and help us cross a line into sin. No, you know what? I'm going to trust that God is able to work out things far greater in this world than I ever can. And then from that, with all of that, we get to see as he kind of finishes it out, I will both lie down in peace and sleep, and you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. This provides a peace and a confidence assurance. So what do we do when the world's crazy? Well, first of all, we make sure that we can be angry without sin, but then we meditate, right? We meditate on the Lord, on his word, constantly changing our mind, right? Then we start to work out our salvation through sacrifices of righteousness. And then we finally place our full trust in the Lord, knowing he can work things out far greater than we can. Love you guys. Hopefully you have an amazing day today. Be encouraged, be strengthened. And when you look around this world and it starts to make you angry, you know what? Make sure that anger doesn't turn into sin, but you put your trust in the Lord. Love you guys. God bless you all. See you tomorrow morning.